Hello all, welcome back to our class. I'm Krushna Prasad. For this semester, I'm going to teach you English. In the previous class, we had an introduction and we have discussed how mothers shower loves on their children, and we have written an essay on our mother also. Right? Today we are discussing about our first unit in the module 1, that is My Mother, written by A.P.J Abdul Kalam. Okay, we know how mother showers love on us. Many writers, many people described about their mother. Okay, Washington Irving. Washington Irving is a US famous writer. He was describing about his mother that a mother is a truest friend we have. Washington Irving is saying that in the world, mother is the truest friend we have. And other author is also telling about the mother is that in a child's eye, a mother is a goddess. In child's eye, mother is a goddess. It was described by N.K. Jemisin. My mother was the most beautiful woman I ever saw. This words described by George Washington. We know who is George Washington. He is the former president of United States of America. Okay. Mother is the truest friend we have in this world. In child's eye, mother is a goddess. My mother was a most beautiful woman I ever saw. These are the words delivered by the famous personalities. Do you agree with these words or not? Yes, mother is a truest friend. She is the most beautiful woman on the earth, right? And in child's eyes, mother is a goddess. They are our parents, father and mother. They are the living goddess. They are the living gods. We should respect them. Okay, our first unit, My Mother, written by A.P.J Abdul Kalam. This chapter, this unit is a prose. This deals with My Mother, deals with Kalam's moving account of his deep feeling for his mother. This is a kind of a prose. It is a prose chapter. It describes about the feelings, moving of feelings in his mind. Kalam's mind is thinking about his mother, thinking about his village, kind of a nostalgia. Through this chapter, Abdul Kalam want to tell us how his mother served him and how his mother showered love on him. Through this chapter, Abdul Kalam want to tell us. For his mother, Abdul Kalam has written a poem. For our mother also, few days back we have written a essay. That essay you have forwarded to me also. Really, many of them have written and expressed their love towards mother. It was excellent. We don't have a words to describe about our mother, right? In the previous class, many of them have written their love, okay, their gratitude towards their mother through the essay we have expressed in the previous class. As a student, we have written an essay towards our mother. He is a great poet, he is a great writer, he is a teacher, is a scientist, is a politician, is a multifaceted person. So he has written a poem. short poem on his mother. Okay, before we are going into the chapter, let us discuss about the author introduction. I hope everybody knows about our former president APJ Abdul Kalam. APJ abbreviation means for what? Avula Pakir Jainul Abdin Abdul Kalam. Avula Pakir Jainul Abdin Abdul Kalam. He was born on 15th October in 1931 and died on 27th in July 2015. He was born to the Jainul Abdin and Ashiamma in Rameshwaram. When he was born on 15th October in 1931. Died in July 27 in 2015. What is the name of his parents? His father name is Jainul Abdin and mother name is Ashiamma. He was born in a remote village that is called Rameshwaram. As a young boy, he sold newspaper to support his family's meager income. Okay, his family consisted with many members. To support his family's less income, he sold a newspaper in his childhood. After his school education, he joined St. Joseph's College, Tiruchirappalli, and then studied at Madras Institute of Technology. He completed his school education in Rameshwaram. Later, he moved to the Madurai. There he has finished. There he has finished his college. Later, he has studied his graduation from the Madras Institute of Technology. He worked at Defense Research and Development Organization and Indian Space Research Organization. He worked in DRDO. DRDO means Research Development of Organization and Indian Space Research Organization. He worked in the two organizations. He worked as a scientist in DRDO and ISRO. ISRO means Indian Space Research Organization. This center sends the rockets to the planets. We know that. DRDO develops a kind of a equipment, kind of a missionaries for the military. There he worked as a scientist. Missiles in DRDO, they prepare missiles for our country. In July 2002, he became the 11th president of India. See, he is a writer, he loved teaching, and he is a scientist, and at the same time, he is a politician. In July 2002, he became the 11th president of India. He authored number of books. He loved teaching. He authored number of books and he loved teaching. He was honored with over 40 doctorates. We know what is doctorate. Doctorate is a highest degree in our education system. Doctorate is a highest degree. After 10th, we are studying intermediate. After intermediate, we are going for the college, graduation, then post-graduation. After post-graduation, we go for the PhD. For his contribution, several universities offered him a doctorate. Over how many doctorate he has received? Over 40 doctorates. Getting one doctorate is very difficult, but he has achieved 40, over 40, above 40 doctorates he has achieved. How clever, how talented personality is. And the government of India conferred on him the nation's highest civilian honor, that is Bharat Ratna. Our Indian government honored him with the highest civilian award, that is Bharat Ratna, in 1997. In which year he has received highest civilian honor? In 1997. He conferred with the nation's highest civilian honor, that is Bharat Ratna, in 1997. But most significantly, he won the hearts of million people as a Vishwaguru, a missile man, and the people president. He won the millions of Indian hearts. People love, people call him as a Vishwaguru and call him as a missile man and people's president. He spent a lot of time with the children. He spent a lot of time with the young students when he was a president. That's why we call him as a Vishwaguru. He knows everything. He's a writer, he's a teacher, he's a scientist and politician. He's a multifaceted personality. That's why we call him as a Vishwaguru. He's a missile man. He has created BrahMos and some very important, he contributed very important missiles to us. That's why we call him as a missile man and the people's president. And it is always inspiring and refreshing to read his work. Really, he is a great personality and he contributed a lot to our country. If we read about him, really it is going to be inspiring lesson for us, refreshing lesson for us. Is it going to be a interesting and refreshing lesson for us? Yes. Obviously, it is going to be a inspiring and refreshing lesson to us. Now we have discussed about the author introduction of our first chapter, that is My Mother. My Mother has been written by A.P.J Abdul Kalam. He was born on 15th October in 1931. Died in 27th July in 2015. He was born in Rameshwaram to the Jainulabdin and Ashiyamma. At the young age, to support his family's meager income, he sold a newspaper also. And he conferred with the over 40 doctorates. He was honored with the over 40 doctorates. And he has achieved, the Indian government conferred him with the nation's highest civilian award, Bharat Ratna. In which year he has achieved the Bharat Ratna? In 1997, he was achieved India's highest civilian award. That is, he was achieved it in 1997. What people call him? People call him as a Vishwaguru, a missile man, and people's president. Okay, now we have finished about the author introduction. Come on, let's enter into our chapter. Okay, let's this chapter. Now we have discussed this chapter. My mother is going to tell about his past memories, deep feelings for his mother, for his village. It is kind of a nostalgia towards his mother, towards his village. Our chapter is going to tell us. My Mother is a Kalam's moving account of his deep feelings for his mother. right? This chapter, my mother is going to tell us about his mother Ashiamma and his memories with his mother. He want to share us through this chapter. Let me read the first text. Let me read the text. Before that, please, everyone, uh, open your notebook and pick up difficult words while we are reading the paragraphs. Meanwhile, you have to collect the difficult words or else underline the difficult words in your textbook. While I am explaining about the chapter, please open your textbook and listen carefully what I am delivering. At the same time, you have to underline if you find any difficult word. Later, you have to find the meaning in the dictionary. You have to know how to pronounce that word and how to use it. So let me check how many students are going to collect how, how many students are going to collect the difficult words. So I hope everybody is going to collect the difficult words from this paragraphs. Let me discuss our first paragraph. Come on, please follow the first paragraph. Many years ago, I wrote a poem called My Mother, which began with these lines. Many years ago, okay, please wait. Many years ago, I wrote a poem called My Mother, which began with these lines. Abdul Kalam is telling us he has written a poem many years ago. That poem begins with the following lines. I means what? Who is I here? I is Abdul Kalam. Abdul Kalam, author himself, directly interacting with the readers. So it is a first person narration. Author himself directly interacting with us, right? So it is a first person narration. Many years ago, I wrote a poem called My Mother. Who has written a poem? Abdul Kalam has written a poem that is My Mother, which began with the following lines. Sea waves, golden sand, pilgrim's faith, Rameshwaram Mosque Street all merge into one, My Mother. Abdul Kalam has written a poem on his mother. That poem begins with the following lines. The lines are sea waves, golden sand, and pilgrim's faith, Rameshwaram Mosque Street all merge into one, My Mother. When he recollect the past memories about his village, Rameshwaram is an island. It is surrounded with the sea water. In the middle, they use it to stay. It is a island. You know what is the meaning of island, right? So in island, obviously we find this sand. So his village surrounded with the sea, so they use it to see the sea waves and golden sand. How sand looks under the sun? It looks like a gold color. So sea waves and golden sand and pilgrim's faith. Rameshwaram is a true tourist place. Many people visits there to sow their prayers. Many people visits there to get the darshan of the Lord Shiva. So he was telling sea waves and golden sand, pilgrims' faith. Many people, many tourists visits Rameshwaram. That's why pilgrims' faith. Pilgrims means what is the meaning of pilgrims? Tourist. Okay, kind of a Devotional tourists, they visit the temples, pilgrims' faith. Rameshwaram Mosque Street all merge into one, my mother. When I recollect the memories of our village, sea waves and golden sand and pilgrim's faith, Rameshwaram Mosque Street all merge into our mother. Whatever the memories I have in my mind, sea waves, golden sand, pilgrim's faith, and Rameshwaram Mosque Street all merge into our my mother, one mother. Mother is equal to the sea waves and golden sand. All memories are connected to our my mother only. Okay, go for the second paragraph. My growing up years, which I now remember with such a nostalgia, are suffused with the memory of Rameshwaram and the two people who were the center of my world. Then my father and mother. Ours was a middle class family. My father had his own small business besides begins the imam of the mosque. My mother, Ashiamma, came from a family one of whom had some time in the past been given the title of Bahadur by the British. My growing up years, which now remember with such nostalgia. In my childhood, I had a memories with the Rameshwaram. My parents are the center of that memories. I'm going to share with you nostalgia. Nostalgia means recollecting the past memories. Okay? When I recollecting about the past memories, our mind suffused with the memory of Rameshwaram. When I go into the past, my memory, my mind filled with the memories of thoughts of Rameshwaram. Suffused means my mind is full of thoughts. It was filled with the Rameshwaram. Rameshwaram means it is his mother, his parents. Whatever the memory he had in his childhood, that all memories revolves around his parents. Okay, his mind is filled with the memories of Rameshwaram, and the two people were the center of my world then. In our childhood also, who are the center of our life? Our parents is the center of our life. Whatever the incident happened, our parents will be there in our story. They are the center of my life. Abdul Kalam is telling us that when I recollect our past memories, my past memories, my mind is filled with the Rameshwaram. Two people were the center of my world. Who are the two people? His mother, Ashiamma, and his father, Jainul Abdin. They are the center of my life. Ours was a middle class family. Our author Abdul Kalam came from the middle class family. His father had his own small business besides being the imam of the mosque. Imam means what? Imam, it is a kind of a priest. He preaches good words and uh, he he advised to do the namaz properly. He is a priest of mosque. Okay, in temple we have the priest, right? So in mosque also we have the imams. So imam is kind of a priest. So what his fathers does? What is his father do? They have a ferry business. Ferry business means boat business. They take the tourist in a boat because it is Rameshwaram is the island. To go there, we have to travel in the boats. Now we have a train facility to the Rameshwaram. Bridge was constructed. Easily we can go to the Rameshwaram. In olden days, they don't have a train facility, they don't have a bus facility, so they used to travel in the boats only. His father, Jainul Abdin, have a ferry business. They take the tourist from this place to that place and from that place to this place. At the same time, he worked as a imam in the mosque also. Okay. My mother, Ashiamma, came from a family, one of whom had sometime in the past been given the title of Bahadur by the British. Ashiamma came from a family, his family was honored with the Bahadur title by the Britishers. We know we were ruled by the Britishers, right? In olden days, Britishers used to offer, they had the government, they ruled us, they used to offer, they used to honor us with some kind of social awards, that is Bahadur. Their family is a reputed family. Ashiamma came from a reputed family. His family was awarded with the Bahadur title by the Britishers. Abdul Kalam, here in the second paragraph, he was introducing about us, his parents. His father is a imam of the mosque. At the same time, he runs a small business. What kind of business they have? They have a ferry business. And his mother Ashiamma also came from a reputed family. That family was awarded with the Bahadur title by the Britishers. Hope you everything was cleared in the second paragraph and first paragraph. Is there any doubts? Please don't ignore while we are discussing about the paragraph, you have to underline the difficult words and collect the meanings from the dictionary. Meanwhile, I explain the meaning of the difficult words. Don't worry about that. For better experience, please collect the difficult meanings from the dictionary. Shall we go for the third paragraph? My mother was gentle, down to earth, pious woman. She was devout Muslim like a my father. And when I think of her, I cannot but remember her saying namaz 5 times a day, bending and praying, the look on her face, one of extreme devotion and peacefulness. She had a large family to look after, and that was where most of her energy went. Our family consisted of my siblings and I, as well as our relatives like my grandparents and my uncles, all of whom lived in the same house. Providing for everyone was always a stretch on the resources. It was not a time of plenty for anyone. Least of all for us, we had a good steady income from my father's business. Now we are discussing about the third paragraph. My mother was a gentle, down to earth, pious woman. Who is Abdul Kalam's mother? Ashiamma is the Abdul Kalam's mother. Ashiamma is a gentle woman and down to earth. Down to earth means very obedient. She respects everyone. In spite she came from the Bahadur family, she never declined to obey his father words, never declined to obey the relative words. She is down to earth, pious woman. Pious means devotional woman. Religious. She always consisted with the religious thought, devotional woman. She was a devout Muslim like my father. His father is also a devout Muslim. Ashama is also a devout Muslim. And when I think of her, I cannot but remember her saying namaz 5 times a day. She is a pious woman. Abdul Kalam is telling about his mother. She is very kind and gentle, down to earth, and pious woman. She is a devout Muslim. She offers a namaz 5 times a day, bending and praying. While performing namaz, they bend and pray. So she offers a 5 times a day. She performs namaz 5 times a day, and because of that prayer, she looks on her face one of extreme devotion and peacefulness. When you have connected with the devotional thought, you look very calm and peace. Her mother Ashima always connected with the God. She performs 5 times a day in namaz. Because of that, she looks extremely devotional and peacefulness. If your thoughts are with the God, you are going to be very peaceful. If your thoughts are with the smartphone, if your thoughts are with some other thing, you are going to look very mature. You are not going to look very calm. She used to perform namaz 5 times a day. Because of that, her face looks extreme devotion and peacefulness. She had a large family to look after, and that was very where most of her energy went. Her family, it is a united family. It consisted with many members. Okay, to look after them. Whatever the energy she have, it is going to be spent on them. She is going to become very tired. In a united family, normally it is going to be consisted with 15 to 10 members. 10 to 15 members is going to be there in united families, right? So for them she has to cook, for them she has to serve. Whatever the energy she has, she spent on them only. Our family consisted of my siblings and I, as well as our relatives. Who is I here? Abdul Kalam. He came from the small family. This family consisted with many members. It includes with the siblings. Siblings means brothers and sisters, and is the smallest one among all, as well as our relatives. Their relatives used to stay with them only, like his grandparents and uncles, all of whom lived in the same house. His uncles and grandparents and aunties and siblings and children, all of them going to be stay in the same village, stay in the same house to serve them, to prepare a food for them. She used to spend all of energy for that only. Providing for everyone was always a stretch on the resources. Fulfilling all desires, whatever the resources she have, it is a stretch. It is a difficult task for us. It is a difficult task for her to provide, to fulfill all desires. It is a kind of a difficult task for her. It was not a time of plenty for anyone, least of all for us. We had a good steady income from my father's business. They used to get a steady income from his father's business. What business his father runs? He had a ferry business. At the same time, he used to work as a imam in the mosque. Okay, Their family is a giant family. Their family consisted with the siblings and their grandparents and uncles. For all, she used to cook. For that, at the end of the day, she looks very tired. Go for the next paragraph. No, no, no. In the same paragraph, we have to finish the last two lines. Coconut groves and ferry business, but that just about covered our expenses, and there was never any question about indulging in luxuries. So they have a coconut groves. Coconut groves mean they have a coconut plants. From that they used to go the bondas. They used to sell the bondas for the tourist. And ferry business. Ferry business means boat business. They take the tourist from this place to that place in a boat. But that just about covered our expenses, and there was never any question about indulging in luxuries. Whatever the business they have, from that they get the money, steady income they get it. That income is used to fill their necessities, not for their luxuries. They have a steady income. They can fill their bellies, they can finish their important works, but they don't have a ample income to fill their luxuries. They don't have a ample income to fill their desires. What is the name of their parents? Mother name is Ashiamma, father name is Jainul Abdin. What business Jainul Abdin runs? They have a coconut groves. Groves means a group of plants, right? Ferry business means boat business. They run a ferry business. Shall we continue the next paragraph? In these circumstances, my mother remained the ideal partner for my father. She saved and understood frugality, yet there was never a trace of irritation or anger in her about the way we lived. Almost daily, not only were many members of the family fed and looked after satisfactorily, but also we usually had umpteen people drop by who would be asked to stay back and eat with us. Now that I think about it, I feel that she cooked and served for many, if not more, guests as they were members of the household, yet this was accepted as normal, and no one really remarked on it or thought much about it. Such was the Indian concept of hospitality once upon a time. So, in these circumstances, they used to get a steady and meager income. Her mother never asked for luxuries. Instead, she came from the Bahadur family. Ashyamma remained ideal partner for his father. She understood the frugality. Frugality means what? The quality of using only as much as food or necessity. Spending money or food as much as necessity, as much as required. She saved and understood frugality. Frugality means spending money or food as much as required, not more than that. She is an ideal partner to the Jainul Abdin, and she understood their family's background. In spite, she came from the reputed Bahadur family. She is ideal and devoted woman, down to earth. Yet there was never a trace of irritation or anger in her about the way we lived. Her mother came from a Bahadur family, but she never irritated herself and never showed anger on them about the way they lived, about the way they lived. Almost daily, not only were many members of the family fed and looked after satisfactorily. Because it is a tourist place, many people use it to visit their family, and their family is a giant family. For them, also, she has to cook, and they use it to feed many members satisfactorily. She used to cook. She never showed anger or irritation on them. She used to cook for n number of food, n number of members. She used to cook food for n number of the members, but she never showed any kind of irritation and anger on them. But also, we usually had umpteen people drop who would be asked to stay back and eat with us. Umpteen means many. Many people used to say with them that we used to stay here. Can you please provide the food for us? They never declined. They never say no to them. Happily, they used to offer the food for the tourist also. At the same time, their family consisted with the large members. Other side, she has to serve the tourist also. We usually had umpteen people drop by who would be asked to stay back and eat with us. Many tourists, umpteen means many tourists, asked us to stay with us, and they asked to stay back and eat with us. Now that I think about it, I feel that she cooked and served for as many, if not more guests, as there were members of the household. She used to cook for the more members if there were not tourists, as usually their family is consisted with a large member. She used to cook for the large family, at the same time she has to cook for the tourist also, and this was accepted as a normal, and no one really remarked on it or thought much as about it. Such was the Indian concept of hospitality once upon a time. In olden days, we have a kind hospitality was provided in houses. Nowadays, in mechanical life, are we providing a good hospitality for our relatives? Forget about the unknown personalities, unknown people. Even we are not providing a good hospitality for our relatives. We always think when he leaves, we have a work. We thought about why relatives came here, when they leave, why should I cook for them? People think like that. In olden days, Ashiyamma, inspired, she came from a royal family, Bahadur family. She used to cook for many members. She never showed any kind of irritation or anger on them. That's why Abdul Kalam is telling, such was the Indian concept of hospitality once upon a time. In his view, now such kind of hospitality is not providing these days. It was there in old. It was there once upon a time. Okay, now we have discussed about the fourth paragraph. In fourth paragraph is telling about their family members, their united family, and their meager income, whatever the meager income they get. With that income only, she used to satisfy everybody's desires. And many tourists used to stay at their home only. They asked to eat with them. She used to cook for the tourist also. So he was highlighting his mother's attitude and her character in the fourth paragraph. Go for the fifth paragraph. Mine was a happy and secure childhood. One of my earliest memories is of eating with my mother sitting on the kitchen floor. We ate of banana leaves, rice, aromatic sambar, homemade pickles, and coconut chutney were the staple foods. Her cooking was deceptively simple, and till today I have not eaten sambar that balances the tart and the spicy taste as delicately as hers did. It is again in connection with the food that another anecdote from my childhood comes to me. Okay, now we are discussing. We will stop here after fifth paragraph. Mine was a happy and secure childhood. Who is mine here? Abdul Kalam is telling to us, my life was very happy and secure childhood because he is the youngest child in his family. So, youngest, obviously, youngest means what? Everybody loves them, everybody cares for the youngest child, right? In our family, we can find our younger brother was treated more importance than us, given more importance than us, right? So that's why Abdul Kalam is telling, mine was a happy and secure childhood. One of my earliest memories is of eating with my mother. Abdul Kalam is telling his past memory with his mother. He used to sit with beside his mother. They used to eat the food in the banana leaves with rice, aromatic sambar, homemade pickle, and coconut chutney with the staple food. It is staple food means what? Staple means regular food. Regular food was served that includes with the rice, aromatic sambar, homemade pickle, and coconut chutney. These are the staple food of their family. He used to enjoy that food. He loves sambar very much. Her cooking was deceptively, simply, her cooking was deceptively simple, and till today I have not eaten sambar that balances the tart and the spicy taste as delicately as hers did. It is again in connection with the food that another anecdote from my childhood comes to me. My mother prepares a sambar. Simply, it was super. Nobody prepares such kind of a tasty sambar still today. I have not eaten sambar that balances the tart and the spicy taste as delicately as us did. It is again in connection with the food that another anecdote from my childhood comes to me. In next paragraph, Abdul Kalam want to share us another story. Anecdote means fairy story. He want to share with us. Now he has discussed. He loved eating, sitting on the floor, kitchen floor, in a banana leaf with the rice and aromatic sambar and homemade pickle and coconut chutney. He described about his loving sambar, how her mother prepares. In next paragraph, he want to tell us another story, anecdote with us. Hope you understood everything up to the fifth paragraph. Please collect the difficult words meanings from the dictionary. Next class, we are going to discuss about the remaining paragraphs. Today we had a introduction about the my mother, author introduction about the Abdul Kalam we have discussed. Later we have entered into our chapter. Now we have finished fifth paragraph. Next class we are going to discuss about the sixth paragraph. Thank you all. We will meet in the next class.